Okay, period, pursuing people. Welcome back to the channel. I'm actually going to do some Q&As from Instagram. I answer the questions on here that people DM to my Danny Sheriff account. And I always forget to like come in and do them. I'm always answering the emails and the YouTube questions, which is the best way to do it, guys. Comment below your questions. But I do have one from Ellie that we're going to kick off with, which is, can you talk about telling your parents? And I actually think this is for everyone, from young people in their teens all the way through to any age you are at. If you're having trouble getting support from family, this is for you. So she says, I'm 19, and my main reason for my food problems are by my parents. I know if I told them about this, I could get better, but I'm scared because I'd want to do this on my own and slowly. My parents talk about food and bodies all the time. If you're overweight, that's the first thing they notice, and if you eat too much. I know this because in family events, they talk about this in the car. And I try not to listen. They are very negative people. I know I'm not, and always think about the best in people. Please give me some advice. Well, Ellie, it's beautiful and amazing that even though you obviously grew up in a culture of judging and trash talking, you don't do that. And this is really common. A lot of people either have a friend group or family members who are still making comments about bodies that you now hear and you're like, it's like they said something like racist, or like they just said like smoking is healthy, or something that's just so fundamentally, like we all just know it's wrong, but they just did it and you're like, how do I respond to this? And the thing is, like, this is tough. There is nothing that you can really do, right? Aside from choosing to talk to them about it, you cannot control whether or not they care, agree, or want to change. And when you call someone out about commenting on bodies, then they're probably not going to receive it that well. Like, and it doesn't mean it's the wrong thing to do. This is called risking the relationship, right? You're not necessarily risking your whole relationship, but in that moment, you're not about to say something that's going to necessarily get them on side. So if you tell someone, hey, talking shit like that is not a value of mine, or if you just choose to not respond, or if you choose to try to explain to them their doing, they may hear you, but they're going to probably be defensive and combative. Why are they probably going to be defensive and combative? Because they're the type of people who bring other people down to make them feel better about their choices. It's just simple, right? So they're not going to appreciate you confronting them because A, they don't confront people, they do it behind people's backs, and B, the whole reason they're talking this nonsense is because it makes them feel better about their shortcomings. When people are choosing to make, quote, fun of someone, it's giving them something to their ego, something to their confidence, something to their self-esteem. They think it's helping those things because it's helping to lift them up. I am of a higher societal status because I am not whatever it is that they're observing about that person, right? I don't have a stupid haircut. My skin is better. I am not as overweight as that person. Blah, 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 blah. So there's actually almost nothing you can do about it, but choose to lead by example by saying that you don't value those things or choosing to not engage. They will notice when you don't engage, right? And if they don't notice because like you're so, their family and it's so close that they just like they're so oblivious to it, you can choose to say something, but you can't control the reaction or the response. This is the way it is for every single thing in life. You can work on how you deliver things, and you can disarm people with how you deliver information. And I think that's really important actually in this space. Like, we've had tons of people in the HA space like actually get in little online fights, you know, because people who discover HA can sometimes be really, really evangelical about it, right? Because you've just discovered this big new thing. You're feeling really passionate about it. You're seeing all of the wild stuff happening around you that's not right, and you want to say something. Rightly so. But you're not disarming the other people. You're not bringing it up in a way that they're going to receive. So if you want to bring something up in a way that someone else is going to receive, you need to be patient and wait for your opportunity. And your opportunity usually comes by your own self-example, meaning you don't call them out for their stuff, you just point out your stuff. So, oh, I'm not doing that because I'm working on this. Oh yeah, that didn't work for me. That does work for me, right? You're not saying, hey, you're wrong. You're not saying, where'd you get that information? You could do something like that by being genuinely curious about someone else's information. So when you start getting your, I want to debate with this person, or I want to call this person out, think, you know, what if there is something you don't know about? What if there is something you haven't heard yet? Just like entertain the idea. So then you can ask that person genuinely, well, where did you hear that? I'd love to see the references on that. I'd love to see the research, right? Finding a way to be genuine about it disarms them, makes them more curious, and they're going to be more interested in asking you questions either immediately or later down the track. It is wild what people will pick up on when you don't push your agenda onto them. So no, it's hard, Ellie, right, to be in an environment where people are talking crap. It is super frustrating. Girl, there ain't nothing you can do, and that's the world, right? That is the world, and this is excellent practice for when you truly enter into the workforce, or when you have your own family, or when you have in-laws and things like that. These are skills that are going to help you get through, right? So remember, you cannot control anyone else. You can only control what you want, and you can only control your actions and what you say. You cannot always control how people are going to receive it. Focus on you. Big deep breaths. Choose to share, but do not push. Or openly show what you're doing without pushing. Do not engage in the rubbish. And you're gonna be golden. Okay. Lisa says, hey, my name is Lisa. I lost my period in February 2024 due to fasting and under eating. After months of eating more and limiting working out, I got my period back in December. My first 2 periods were 25 days and my third was 24. After my second period, I began weightlifting lightly, not consistently, maybe twice a week. After my third period, I thought I was good, so I increased my exercise and stayed more consistent. I also went snowboarding around ovulation and never got my period that month. This month I stopped any exercise and have been trying to eat a lot, but was hit with being sick for over a week, and I ate very little. My period hasn't come this month either. I guess what I'm trying to ask is, could I expect my period to come back pretty quick if I actually stay consistent, or will it take longer the second time? And how long after I don't get it back again should I wait to do any sports? Or after I do get it back again, should I wait to do any sports or exercise? Okay, so what has happened to you is a case of life where HA was feeling pretty behind you, which is fair, right? I think you had like 3-4 periods. Like, let's get on with life. You brought in some exercise. It actually worked out. Okay, cool. But then you went boom, snowboarding, and then you started being more consistent with the gym. And I think it's interesting that you didn't specify what that looked like. So it kind of sounds like, if I read between the lines, you were doing a bit of weightlifting and you weren't that consistent, and then boom, you were like, oh, we going 4 or 5 days a week and we doing it with a program and structure. Then most likely you didn't increase your food enough for all the activity that you were doing. And that's really important. You cannot just like turn the dial up on exercise and not increase your calories significantly. If someone wanted to do a cut later, they can't do a cut, especially at the stage you're at. I don't think you should be doing a cut immediately in. I'm not saying that you did, but you might have, right? So if you up the exercise without significantly increasing the food, you're actually going straight into a bit of a cut. So what you're gonna wanna do is increase the exercise, increase the food significantly, stay consistent there, sit there for as long as you can. And then once you've had your 3 consistent cycles, for example, you can start making some caloric cuts, because if you're feeling like it's more food than you need, it's, maybe you're continuing to gain, maybe you're really full and you just want to see what happens, then you would start very minutely knocking that down till you reach a new normal. Because then, like, I kind of just get that it's inconvenient to be eating food all day every day, so that's kind of fair. And we're all trying to get to a place where we're more neutral about food, and food is less of this like crazy important thing in our life, and it's just fuel for life. So you would strategically do that. What the area where a lot of us make mistakes is, we introduce a food, we take away the exercise, then we bring in a little bit of exercise and we keep the food, and that's okay. And then we bring in more exercise and we don't increase the food, and then we bring in more and we don't. In fact, we try to cut down a little bit because it's inconvenient, instead of increasing our food with our exercise, and then once stable there, making small adjustments. And that's just one piece of it. It's also important for all of your intentions behind exercise and sports to be purely fun and growth and joy. So lots of things there to consider. That is the answer. My personal opinion and answer to your question. I hope this helped. These are really good types of questions to ask inside of the HA Society group. So we have a community group. It's actually the original thing we ever did. It's been around a while, and there's actually DMs and live community call and a message board. So if you have questions like this you want to chat directly with me about, instead of like submitting a question to the YouTube and then waiting for the episode to come out, you can join that group and you can chat directly with me. So I will put a link below. There's pretty much a link below in every video to access that group. Go look at the website, learn about it, see if it's something that's right for you, and then you and I can chat directly in there on an as needed basis. Hope this helped. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Comment your questions below, and I'll see you next week. Mwah. Also, side note while I'm here, coming up on the 31st and the 1st of April, I am doing 31st of March, 1st of April, I'm doing some free info sessions on our coaching. So come live. I will be taking you through our Restore Your Fertility Group program, exactly how it works, who it's good for, success stories, all that good stuff. Really just thoroughly answering all your questions. So then if you've ever had thoughts about HA coaching and like, is it legit? Is it good? What does it do? I'm going through in that session. And for both sessions, someone will be winning a year-long HA Society membership for free. So you might be interested in that. So come on, and I'll put the link in the show notes below.